All right, so here I have some chicken breast. You want to get your chicken breast deboned and rinsed off in some lemon juice and vinegar, because you don't want to be dealing with bones while you eat in this dish. All right, then you also want to use some oil. You're going to use some Worcestershire sauce. Always get that one wrong. It's a tongue twister. Soy sauce. This is the one my mom used growing up. I absolutely love this one. It's just less salty and it's amazing. Here I have my Maggi season ups, chicken and all-purpose, black pepper and garlic powder. All right, and X factor in this dish is your bok chow. You gotta have some bok chow for this. It's one of the main ingredients in the chicken chop suey. All right, so the first thing you're gonna want to do is to cut up your chicken breast. Now, the way you cut up your chicken breast is very strategic. You have to cut it in strips. You don't want to chunk it up, because sometimes when you chunk up your chicken breast, it doesn't cook the same. All right, so the taste is not the same. It just have this like more chewy taste, and you don't want that. You want to cut them in strips so that you when you put it in the pan, it will sear and it will get this nice bite. All right, you want all that juice to stay in the right way. All right, so every detail counts. You have to cut your chicken breast in strips, just like I am right here. All right, notice when you buy like chicken tenderloin, like chicken tenders, you know that's chicken tenders, but they use a tenderloin and it's cut long way. All right, so you kind of want to mimic that same vibe and just cut it long way so that it's like strips, so it just eats different. All right, perfect cut chicken breast. We have it right here. That's how you want all your chicken breasts to be. All right, and once you have them cut up, you see how that's dry? You want to make sure that you wash your chicken breast before you cut it up, so that you're not using no excess water in your chicken. And here I'm applying some seasonings, the garlic powder, my OG Maggi season up, chicken and all-purpose. All right, so if you're not familiar with the packaging of these, I'm going to link them down below for you so that you could pick those up, because those are a must in your Jamaican dishes. All right, and I also have some black pepper here that I'm going to sprinkle on as well. All right, you want to have that nice coarse black pepper in your dish. All right, and we're also going to add our Worcestershire sauce. Just sprinkle a little bit over that on there. It has a distinct flavor, so you don't want to put too much, but Worcestershire sauce elevates this dish a lot. Like it gives this bright flavor that you just eating it and everything works together and you're just like, whoa. All right, and I love this soy sauce. Like I said, if you can find this one, it's at most Jamaican stores, so try to pick that up. It just tastes different than the other soy sauce that you buy in the regular aisle. So if you could get your hands on that one, it's absolutely amazing. All right, and green seasoning is a must in any of my dishes. All right, so check out my video on that if you don't have this in your fridge already, because it's a must to just have in your fridge. You run to, you grab it, and you use it whenever you need to. All right, and here I have a couple cloves of garlic. All right, so I went ahead and peeled them. So I'm just going to mince them up. All right, you want to have them nice and fine, because with this dish, you're just going to be eating it over rice. Like, you're just going to be eating it. So you don't want to be bumping into anything that's too overpowering. You just want everything to blend well together. All right, and I also have some ginger. I love the flavor of ginger in my chop suey. All right, but I have to grate it out. I don't like to crunch on any ginger, like it just gets too overpowering and then it's unpleasant. Some people I don't like ginger. That's because they're just having too much of it, or they bite into it and it's a strong flavor, so you don't want too much of it all at once. All right, but when you distribute it throughout, it works great. And we also added some oil just to marinate everything together. All right, so we're gonna mix this in. All right, so you see how it's not wet, like it's no water at the bottom. That's what you want, because you don't want your chop suey to be swimming. You want your chicken to sear nicely, and then once you add your vegetables in, everything just blend together. You don't want to have no water at the bottom. Like, you don't want too much water in this dish. All right, so once we have our chicken seasoned, we're gonna go ahead and work on our bok chow. Okay, so this step is crucial right here. You want to break them apart because these insides get dirty, so you don't want to just have them and just cut them up. All right, so you want to rinse them off individually and then put them to drain. Again, we don't want a lot of water in our food here. All right, and here I have some carrots. All right, so I have 3 carrots here. You don't want too much carrots, but you want just enough so it balances it out. All right, so I'm just going through peeling my carrot. You could use a vegetable peeler and it makes it super easy. I hate scraping my carrots. It's just not as uniform. I like to see my carrots orange and clean and pretty. All right, so right here I am just going through and cutting them in strips. You know, we all eat with our eyes, so I love to get everything uniformed and beautiful throughout my food. All right, so just cut up your carrots in strips and it's going to be amazing. All right, so once you have your carrots cut up, you just want to put them in a bowl and start working on your bok chow. All right, so they're nice and drained, so you want to go ahead and slit them down the middle twice and just chop them up neat and nice. All right, so I do this because I don't want to be eating too much chunks, so I just like to cut them up finer so they're just, you know, easier to eat. All right, so I just want to have a bowl to put those in on the side, and you could do them individually, or a hack that I recommend is to stack them on top of each other, like so, about 3 or 4 pieces, and then just slit them down the middle just like you see I'm doing here, and then just chop them up. All right, that makes it super easy and you get through cutting these so much faster. All right, so I just love bok chow. Bok chow is one of my favorite vegetables. It's just so amazing, and it's green leafy vegetables, which is great for you, but it has this great flavor. Like, every green leafy vegetables has a different flavor, and this one is just beautiful. Like, the white part has a different flavor than the green part, and it just works together, and it's so nice. I love bok chow. All right, so just cut up your bok chow and, you know, cut it up uniform, because if you ever go to like a restaurant and you see how nice and neat they cut up stuff, or, you know, like they just make stuff uniform, like, you feel better and you appreciate that when they do it that way. So just do it for yourself and you'll enjoy your meal a lot better. All right, and here I have an onion. I'm just peeling it off. All right, and then I'm gonna slice it. I like sliced onions. Cut it however you want to. I just like how it looks and how it hits the meat better. I love to slice my onions. So again, cutting it neat here so that you have that perfect cut. You know, we all eat with our eyes and you want everything to be uniformed. You're not gonna get all perfect slices, because when you get down to the bottom, it's harder if you're not using a slicer. So just cut it as best as you can, like you see I'm doing here, and just cut it up. Make sure it's nice and uniform, so when you add it in your pot, it's beautiful. All right, so put your onion on a plate, and then you see you have everything together. The key to a delicious stir fry, a chop suey, anything you're stir frying, is to have everything prepared ahead of time, so when you're cooking it, you can cook everything at the right timing. So you see we have the chicken, the bok chow, the onions, the carrots, everything that we need cut up, so while we're cooking, we're not running to cut anything. Try that and see the difference, guys. Okay, so here we are at the stove. My Le Creuset wok. Absolutely love this thing. If you know, you know. It's amazing. It heavy duty cast iron makes everything just so good. Your cooking vessels, guys, A1. But if you don't have a wok, don't worry about it. My parents executed this dish with our good old Jamaican Dutch pots, so you could execute this dish with anything that you have. All right, so here I have the oil heating up. I just added a little bit of oil. You don't want to add too much oil because you don't want to fry it, you just want to sear it. All right, so once you see that steam coming up, the pan is well heated, you want to go ahead and drop your chicken pieces into the pot. All right, and you want to do this in batches, guys. You don't want to just drop all of your chicken pieces in at once, because that will steam it, and you don't want it to steam. You want it to get a nice sear so that it has a beautiful color, you know. So just make sure that you put it in a hot pan and give it room to sear. All right, look at how delicious that chicken looks already. It's coming along, guys. Absolutely love me some chicken chop suey. All right, and you don't have to do chicken. If you know anybody that don't eat meat and they want to enjoy this dish, you could make them some shrimp chop suey. Like, you could do the same thing. You could use beef, anything you want as protein. You could substitute and make this dish. So you could use beef, shrimp, anything you want, guys. Just, you know, make sure it's boneless and it's a quick cook meat, and you could just, you know, stir fry it and follow the same recipe, and it will be delicious. All right, so once you have your first batch of chicken cooked, you want to go ahead and remove them from the pot so that you could cook the second batch of chicken. And look how juicy that looks. Look at the juices at the bottom. You see that chicken? Oh my gosh. You want to tip a little bit more oil in there because some of the oil got absorbed into that chicken. So you just want to add your chicken once the oil heats up again. All right, and just give those a nice move around so that they hit the pan evenly. All right, that's beautiful, guys. And this is the reason why you don't want to have too much water throughout, because you don't want your chicken to be steaming. You want it to sear. And for your bok chow, you don't want it to be wet either. That's why you rinse it and you just leave it in the sink in the colander to drain off that excess water so that it's not wet once you add it in the pot. You want everything dry in your stir fry. All right, we'll add our sauces to give our gravy and to, you know, the vegetable will spring its own juices, but that's all the juices you're gonna need. All right, so you just cook up that chicken nice and beautiful, and like I said, substitute this with shrimp. I actually made some for my mother-in-law and my mom on Sunday because my mother-in-law doesn't eat meat, and I was just like, my mom doesn't eat a lot of salt or anything, which I don't normally cook with a lot of salt, but I just cooked it for both of them and they absolutely loved it. Just substituted the chicken with shrimp and they killed it. It was amazing. All right, you could eat this with brown rice. I particularly like it with jasmine white rice because it's just A1. All right, so here I'm adding in our onions. So once all the chicken is done cooking, you want to go ahead and remove them from the pan. And in the same pan, this is a one pot stir fry, guys. You want to go ahead and add in your onion and your carrots that you cut up earlier. All right, and just get that nice and seared. All right, so you don't want to cook them for too long because we're also going to add in the bok chow, so you want them to cook together. And the green season that we used earlier, that we left a little bit in the bowl, you want to just add that in to give the vegetables a nice pop of flavor. All right, because we season everything, guys. Okay, and now you want to go ahead and add in your bok chow. Okay, so like I said, you don't want to cook the other stuff for too long, so add in your bok chow right away and then just get that incorporated. So it will melt down as you add it, so just add the first batch, move it around. Once it starts melting, add the rest of it and then just move it and groove it around in your pan. So here we're adding the rest of the bok chow. Now, I don't season my bok chow because I like to have my vegetables to be fresh and nice. So I don't like to add extra seasoning, but you can add extra seasoning if you want. Like the same seasoning that I use, the chicken seasoning, the all-purpose, you can add those in. All I add here is some garlic. I went ahead and grated it. If you haven't tried ginger, if you haven't tried ginger in your bak chow, guys, you gotta try ginger in your bak chow. Like any greens that you cook, add some ginger in there. It's game changer. It has a subtle flavor, super duper nice. And we're also gonna grate in some garlic. All right, so just be careful, don't cut yourself, guys. All right, so I know a lot of people will be like, ginger, I don't like ginger. Try it. I'm telling you, if you grate it, it will just be subtle. It will add a nice balance of flavor without being overpowering. A lot of times we go out and eat, we don't know what we're eating. Like they'll put ginger, they'll put certain things in it and you enjoy it, but you won't cook it for yourself because you don't know how to really do it. But once you learn how to do it, just grate the ginger and it will be great. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and put that chicken back in the pan, juices and all. All right, so you see all that juicy chicken and the juice that the chicken spring right in the pan. Yes, guys, that is how you make your chicken chop suey. We're not far from finishing here, guys. You just want to incorporate in that chicken and that bak chow. So just toss it in like I'm doing here. You can use a tongs and just toss in your bak chow into the chicken. Get the chicken and everything incorporated nice. All right, and just incorporate it, guys. It's gonna be so good, guys. I'm so excited. All right, so like I said, you could add your seasonings like your Maggi season ups if you want to have extra seasonings in there, but I like it to be fresh, for my greens to be fresh. So all I'm really adding in is some soy sauce, just to give that vegetable some flavor and to just marry everything together. All right, because we already seasoned the chicken with soy sauce, so you don't want to use too much, but put enough so that your vegetables could get that nice flavor. All right, so just toss that around and incorporate it. And once you see the vegetables starting to wilt a little bit, then you're done. Turn off the stove. You don't want to overcook your greens. You want them to be nice and still have a little bite, but have the flavor of the bak chow still incorporated through and through, because you don't want too much water at the bottom. And if you cover this and let it steam, it's just gonna be liquidy, and we don't want that. We want to get all the nutrients from our greens. And here we are, guys, all done and ready to go. I'm so excited about this dish, and I hope you guys are too. Guys, this is a must try. Let me know, comment down below and tell me what you think. If you try this recipe, let me know what everybody think when you make this recipe for them. All right, guys, I'm so happy I was able to drop this one for y'all. Look how juicy that looks. Look at the greens, look at the chicken, healthy and still delicious. Guys, if you love what you see, give this video a big thumbs up. Share this with your friends, guys, so they could know how to make themselves some chicken chop suey too. And subscribe to the channel, because all of my recipes are this good. Guys, I've been cooking for years, like since I was 12, and I'm grown now. So my dad, my mom, they taught me everything I know, and I'm so excited to come on here and show you guys my food. I'm so passionate about cooking, guys, and thank you so much for joining today. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, stay blessed.